week. And I called one individual who usually pretty connected and said, any upcoming attacks that we don't know about? Have you run the traps as well?
Well, I've been focusing on the Mueller-Trump-Russia news tonight, Brian, but it's just so remarkable that there are so many possibilities here because of the posture of this administration. North Korea, Iran, Yemen. We're taking military action in countries around the world where we haven't been before. They're really leaning on the balls of their feet here in terms of the military, and people are wondering, what could be next?
Yeah, I think that's why people were so concerned when they backed away and looked at the substance of what the president said tonight. Counselor, help us turn the corner into the Mueller investigation. So Mueller's associates have found the author of the dossier. We learned this a day after there were complaints in the Senate that they haven't found, nor is he cooperating with them. Does the Mueller team get to be the first and last American interview with this gentleman? Is Mueller chief among equals of all the people investigating this?
Usually that's how it works. The Senate and the House are working on this as well, of course, but so far they've been deferring to the Mueller investigation, and that's really the way that it should be, because criminal charges are going to take precedence over any sort of impeachment proceedings or anything else that happens. We know that Mueller is going to be writing a report when he's done about what happened here, and in the case that criminal charges are not brought, that report, of course, will go to the Congress for any action that they may take. So it makes sense that Mueller would go first, and also to me that Steele would actually prefer to talk to Mueller and his team rather than...
Why is that?
Well, he's an intel officer, right? A former British intel officer. He's used to dealing with law enforcement. He's probably more comfortable in that world rather than dealing with Congress, elected politicians. I think he'd be a little bit happier to be with Mueller and his team.
So even to a Brit who has spent time in the intel world, this is a case where Mueller's resume and reputation may have gained him entree that the Senate has been unable to get.
Of course. I mean, Mueller was FBI director, right,
yeah,
for 10 years. So I'm sure that he even knows of Mueller and his work from his time with British Intel and trusts him, as pretty much everyone seems to. So I'm not surprised that he was able to interview Steele.
Ken, on the dossier, you noticed something about the Senate briefing yesterday, the press briefing, just the way they were approaching the subject and dealing with it.
I found it remarkable that the Republican chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Richard Burr, basically said that while they haven't been able to corroborate many parts of the dossier, they did, he used the word rebuild. I think he meant they were constructing a timeline and trying to line up dates and times and facts. And essentially, they've corroborated parts of it. And I went back and checked with some sources to make sure I was understanding that correctly, and it's absolutely what they're saying. Now, they're not telling us which parts because it's highly classified, but it's just remarkable to me that at this stage in this investigation, you have Mueller going with his team to interview Steele because, after all, the FBI has had the information in this dossier for many months. So what this tells me is that they are now following up. They're following new leads. They want more information. And this dossier, don't forget, is very, I mean, it makes alarming allegations that that Donald Trump is completely compromised by Russia and that Russian intelligence had completely infiltrated the Trump campaign. Now, that's not proven, but the fact that Mueller is looking at it at this stage, to me, is deeply significant, Brian.
Eli, what Ken just said is the kind of factual charge in